Hey friends, how's it going? Josh Zaring here again. In today's episode of the Garage Studio build, I'm going to be showing you my desk, the construction of the desk that I built, and how I'm coloring it with vinegar stain, which sounds really weird to say out loud, but it worked. And then I'm going to take it down here from the shed, down here to the studio, put it in, going to do time-lapse of that, and a time-lapse of a whole lot of other things that I'm putting together in the studio, trying to get it done and get all the finishing touches taken care of. So thanks for stopping in and checking this video out. Let's get started. So this is the desk. All different thicknesses of reclaimed wood, and as you can see, it kind of zigzags pretty much exactly how I wanted it. I did one row at a time the whole way around. That way everything would be like follow each layer's bump out here, and I kind of covered the end grain with the front to make it look a little more slick. But all in all, the goal here is to have it look as rustic and vintage as possible. And the top here, this is actually oak. You can see it's turned a real nice gray color, and if you look real close, there's little specks and spots. That's the acid from the vinegar that causes this to happen. It's not just vinegar. I put 2 steel wool Brillo pads in. You know, you don't want to put the Brillo pads in with soap, with the soapy side. Just straight up regular steel wool, and then you let it sit for 24 hours or more and it oxidizes. So then you use the Brillo pad, the steel wool, to actually apply this, and you kind of scrub it into the wood grain. It's a whole process, but it's just a little bit harder than just using regular stain and a brush. But today I'm going to try and make this a little more uniform. As you can see, there's definitely 2 different things. I don't want that to go away. I just want it to be a little bit more uniform. This is about 5 feet wide, a little over 5 feet, so I can sit my computer monitor, which is a 28-inch, and then my audio studio monitors side to side, and probably fit my mixer in here. If not, then this is going to get a little dark, but if not, then it can actually go underneath here. There's 2 huge shelves that are 2 feet deep, and so that's it. I'm going to finish this today. Hopefully it'll turn out, and then I'm going to be taking it to the studio, reverse of the first video in this series where I took the enormous workbench up to this shed, but I didn't want to get the brand new freshly painted studio all dirty, and you can see why here. We got tons of scraps and sawdust. At one point I was about 3 rows away from finishing this, thinking I don't have enough wood. If I use something different, I mean, it does vary, but if I use something too different, it wasn't going to look right, and it'd end up working out. So this is today, and then the next shot I will show you it completed. So thank you for watching. First I want to show you this tripod that Tarion sent me. It's a tripod, very compact and very light, much lighter than the one this is sitting on right now, which is my best tripod. I'm not going to knock it, it's just heavy. It's a great tripod. I needed a travel tripod, something I could attach to my pack that wasn't super duper heavy, because the pack is already heavy with my 70 to 200 and all that. So they sent me this to try out, and I've already tried it out, but I really like it. I just put it back in the case. It'll probably never stay in the case, but I just wanted to show you this before we get started, because it is an awesome little tripod that also turns into a monopod, which is awesome because I do a lot of sports photography. That's my other job. I do sports photography, and the fact that this can turn into a monopod when I need it, like indoors, that's a great thing. It's Arca Swiss compatible, which means I can put my 70-200 on. I have the Tamron 70-200 G2, which has the Arca Swiss foot built right in, and that just goes right on here, which is totally awesome. And I don't need to. If I'm using my 70-200, I don't have to put the plate on the bottom of the camera. So I'm going to show you this a little bit closer up, and then we're going to get started. Here's my 70-200 on my Canon, and it just slides right in. You can actually just put it right on top. And as you can see, even for a small tripod, it's handling it really well, even though I have the center column extended as far as it'll go. And I don't know if I said it already, but this is the Q550 model. So that means where the grip is, to turn it into a monopod, you just unscrew this and unscrew the ball head. As you can see, I already got that started. Screw the tripod head on, and then you have a monopod, a very lightweight monopod. And just to show you again how easy it is, it's not as easy when you're holding your monopod, but if you have a heavy camera, it's not that easy. But there it is. And it's really top heavy right now, but you don't really want your monopod to be too heavy. I do have a 3-pod monopod, which is massive, and because of that, I end up not using it. The reason I think this is such a great tripod in the first place is because it's so light, and if you do any amount of climbing or hiking with your camera bag, you're trying to keep it as light as possible, because if you're hiking, you're taking water and food, all the things you need, plus your heavy camera equipment. And I have actually taken my tripod and my monopod on the sides of my huge camera bag, and it's not fun carrying that much weight everywhere you go. But if I'm taking a tripod along on any camera trip for anything, it usually means I'm going to do a long exposure, so I need something solid. And you can actually hang your camera bag or any weight on this hook here. This actually inverts too, so you can do macro or close to the ground shots, upside down shots, product shots, which I will definitely be using it for. That's what I use this tripod for a lot more often than not. But I wanted to keep this quick, so I'm just gonna cut this off here and get this awesome time-lapse started, because I'm really excited to set the studio up, and still waiting for the studio foam. That's probably gonna show up in this video or maybe the next video, but that'll kill this echo that you're hearing right now. It is pretty awful, so here we go. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I threw in the tripod there, and I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. In the next video, I'm going to be bringing in the shelf that isn't even built yet, and putting my guitar stuff in the corner, hopefully, if everything fits and everything works out right. And then I'm probably going to be putting the backdrops up, which is always a stressful thing for me, because I already know from checking that where I'm going to be bolting things in, there's no studs, so I'm going to have to put a ton of screws in with a ton of anchors and make sure everything's secure. So that's going to be kind of fun to figure out. Thanks so much for stopping in and watching this video. Please subscribe and tell your friends. And remember, as usual, Create, share, repeat, and keep it awesome. I'll see you next time.